Oh,
And we
right.
can be live.
So I know everyone's been waiting for our, Legend of Zelda review. Just not gonna buy the game until we review it. Hanging off the edge of your seat. So now
Yep.
I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna do a fair, honest review with me and Mo here.
Yep. It is worth noting we only played the Switch version. The Wii U version apparently is exactly the same, but we're not going to say because we haven't played the peasant
Yes.
version.
All right. So first off, I'd like to just say, how did you play it, for the most part? Because I mostly played mine via handheld. I rarely played it on the TV.
I only played mine, besides once at work, I mainly played mine docked and with the Pro controller.
When I did play for a small amount of time, I did use the Pro controller. But when I wasn't using the Pro controller on there, I literally played it at Home Depot. I was playing it. I was playing it everywhere. In the
Yeah,
cars.
at work, if you can get in early, you can play before you start and breaks and stuff. So I fold it out, take off the sides, and I pop them into their little dock, and I play it that way via the little screen when it's set up. I never just hold it and play it.
Oh, I always hold it and play it. I just found it easier or more comfortable.
I find it way more comfortable to put the screen down, and just play like a normal game. But that's the joy with the Switch.
Yeah.
It's adaptable. You can switch it to any form. Wait, I get the name now.
All right. So, onto, I guess, let's go to a more technical level, like graphically. Graphically, it's
Well,
really good.
graphically,
It's
I
not.
found the frames per second to be quite superior when docked.
Apparently, there was an FPS issue I didn't notice, but they patched
I
it.
had no idea. I just see people go on about it. Like, I've never seen it.
Yeah, exactly. I've never seen it, but like I'm sure people who like literally just look at frames and have it timed all the time and memorize what it looks like or something would know.
That frame just dropped a second. No, I didn't look at that. I was like, ooh, look,
Yeah.
stuff.
So they fixed it, but they supposedly patched it. So this issue that wasn't an issue for all of us is now fixed. So
And I will admit, I do have the hard copy guide, and I have the season pass.
that's cool. I have the season pass, and I do not have the guide. I never really had to look up
I'll
anything.
admit, I'll admit, I've not used the guide.
Ah.
Even the thing that I was telling you about, when I was like, okay, I can't find them. I looked in the guide. The guide didn't help me much. I was like, I can't be asked reading all this. Fuck it, and just put it down.
That's kind of amazing.
And just went, ah, fuck. I look online. Oh, there's a map where someone's put where they are. Okay, I'll just guesstimate and go there.
That's kind of amazing. Anyway, so graphically, it's pretty well. It's also graphically similar to the Wii U, so it's not like that much better graphics. It's not like the most amazing thing ever, but it looks good. I like how like in the E3, some of the E3 demos there was grass, there was no grass here. Like there's nice grassy fields, then there's sand and deserts. You can make out like all the stuff. There's shine.
I I say, and I may be the only one to say this. Fuck the graphics.
Oh, it
For one
doesn't.
reason.
Yeah.
According to Nintendo, that was the reason Link doesn't have his hat. Is this graphical engine couldn't make the hat work right? And I'm like,
Okay.
no, screw you. He needs his hat. Especially considering you saw the picture of me when I came with the woolly hat with the two Link ears on either side. That came with my thing. So it's like, oh, cool. If you buy the game and you pay a little extra, you get this cool hat that's not featured in the game.
I have my climbing
What, did
hat too.
DMC come with white Dante wigs?
But I just love my climbing hat. That makes me climb faster, so I'm okay with it.
I want his traditional hat. It's not Link unless he's got his little hat on.
All right. I guess the next thing would be more story or no gameplay. Let's go for gameplay. Story we'll save for like last, because then spoilers. Okay, so gameplay wise, I feel like there is a lot in this game, but there's a lot that's not as rewarding. Like you put on a whole lot of effort to do a whole lot of things, and it's a lot of times for nothing or for a collectible. Like
I,
I did this.
I
Go ahead.
So you go.
Yeah, I did this giant like mountainous like dragon thing that I spent like 20 minutes on because I had to keep reloading because I only had 7 arrows because like that's the only thing I ever spend money on because I keep running out of arrows. So I beat this whole thing and I thought it must be really significant. This must be like a god or something. He's gonna help me on my quest. This is awesome. And he's like, hey, I opened up a shrine for you. Get a little orb. Bye. And I'm like, he just pisses off. And I was like, what the fuck was this for? And it's like things like that drive me crazy.
I'll admit there's something I'm not a fan of gameplay wise. Like I don't like the cooking system. Because, like I said, I prefer in most games where you can just walk up and say, do you want to cook? And then it pulls up a menu, and then you pick stuff, and then it cooks. I don't like, oh, I'm going to put them all in my hand, then walk to the pot, then place them in. I'm like, oh, no. You know what I mean? It's an extra step that didn't need to be there. A lot of other games have found ways to get around that. Like, even Minecraft has a crafting and cooking system where you click on it, it just does it.
See, I didn't mind the cooking as much, but I feel like it needed to be improved upon. Like, let's just say you make something, and that's a recipe that you have. Now, if you have the ingredients, you should be able to just click that recipe and make it each time. Take less work out of it. If you unlock the recipe the first time, or something simple like that. Because otherwise, selecting all those items and dropping it in and then doing that just makes it unnecessary.
Yep, and I kept getting weird stuff too. Like some stuff was good, some stuff wasn't. I couldn't remember what I'd cooked to make the good stuff. Sometimes I had hideous messes. Other times I included robotic pieces that got really hard brick food, basically.
That's another thing. Once you do make a food, there's no record of that thing you made, like at all, unless you keep one thing of every recipe and you never use that one thing you ate. There's no way to like tell you, oh, look, you unlocked all this food.
Now, one thing that's gameplay wise-ish that split the audience is the weapons. Some people don't like how easily the weapons break. I'm okay with the weapons breaking and you pick up another one because you keep finding them. It's not like you run out of weapons. And it's a case of, I'm okay, it's just managing your weapons. I'm okay if they break. Maybe it could have been tweaked so they wouldn't all break as fast as they do, but still.
I'm kind of on the same page with you about that. I'm like, okay, the weapons break, because that would strategically like find weapons, and I got a house where I just drop a whole bunch of weapons now, so I kind of store them for later, so I can go back to them, and so they kind of said like maybe they should tweak and not breaking as quickly, maybe like possibly, but it's okay because I have like a ton of weapons and I know where to find a ton of weapons, so it's okay, it's manageable.
Yep. Now, not really gameplay, but I think it would have been covered under graphics, but we kind of, because it's not really story. I don't like the look. I mean, the graphics are fine, the look of the characters look great, but then when you get inside the shrine, it goes into like Fifth Element sci-fi shit, and he's like picking up like sci-fi weapons. I'm like, that's not Legend of Zelda. It was more fantasy than sci-fi. I didn't feel like Legend of Zelda to me when I got to like sci-fi stuff.
I understand that. I kind of felt a little weird when, like, I was kind of trying to describe this to my sister, which I didn't feel weird about playing it, but I felt weird talking about it. I'm like, well, basically, Link has an iPad, and the iPad has apps, and the iPad you use is pretty much you have to go through the iPad using your apps to adventure. And he's like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, just describing it. I mean, it didn't feel like innately wrong while playing it, but something was definitely off.
To be fair, they had stuff like that back in the day. Like, even Moses had a famous tablet.
Ah, but I'm ching. Like, I felt like your bombs that you have until you get the bomb upgrade, they're kind of really useless for combat.
I don't like how easily they rolled because most of the stuff's a hill.
Well, that's why I use the square one.
You could, but the round ones were being able to be thrown further, and they roll way too easy. Like they go and then just roll back to you. And you're like, no.
Yeah, they do. I just wish they didn't have a round and square one, just one that stayed put. That's basically what the square ones are, but they don't have the same principles.
Yeah, I like the magic stuff that they've done where you learn the abilities. I don't like the look because they still look fantasy. Not fantasy. They look more sci-fi than fantasy, like holographic weapons and spells. But I like how they work, and I
Mhm.
like the stamina system when you're climbing, and like some stuff you'll climb and quickly find a little ledge to stop and go climb, climb,
Mhm.
climb, 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 climb. And that's pretty much it, basically. But
Mhm. I also like how you can choose stamina or hearts. I always want hearts almost every time except for 2 stamina. But then I was watching this other guy play and he went all 100% stamina and he just kept making a whole bunch of potions that give him stealth or like anything else. And he did a completely no clothing, only potions playthrough, like to make it like extra challenging or something.
I mainly went with stamina over health because I wasn't dying except for the part where I ran out of stamina and fell off a cliff.
Really? I was dying all the fucking time. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. I was like, okay, no. As long as I have a weapon, I can kill them. So I'm like, okay.
I was
But
dying
I,
all
I,
the
I
time.
kept running out of stamina in places where I'm like, I just need to go just an inch higher and I'm at the location I need to go to.
That's super. That we can. I just like the ability for so many versatility in so many ways.
Yep. Yeah, so you can match your playstyle basically.
Exactly. Now switch over the gears, leaning towards story. Like, what do you think about like all the characters in here? Like the main characters, the not main characters, like all the little like people in there.
Honestly, I haven't played through all the game yet, but I will say every character I've met, eh.
I like some of them.
I mean, whenever I saw them, they seemed way more generic than they used to be.
Okay. I mean, there's probably a lot more
At least,
people because a lot more places.
yeah, at least to me, in the old ones, they all used to have a purpose. They used to feel real or whatever, or feel like fantasy or whatever. This one, it feels like they spent most of the time trying to make this massive open world game, and the graphics and the story was secondary. Like even when the old man turned, which is a spoiler, but when the old man turns into a king, I'm still bored by him. I'm like, oh, you're the king.
I called that.
Cool. Can you finish monologuing? No, you're still going. Why can't you run out of stamina on your fucking speech?
I liked some of the little people like I ran into. Like it's like, oh, help me, my sister. We have to help, like, and help defend those people. Or sometimes this guy was like, I'm trying to get this flower for my wife so she won't leave me. So, can you help me here or something like that? So I thought that was cool little stories. And I like this one guy who helps you build a house or whatever. Like he was like, hey, guess what? And it's like, what? What is it? Like he's like, I'm leaving. I know it's sad. I know how emotionally broke up you are. And he's almost making fun of the fact that you don't give a shit. And he was like, we're all having a goodbye party. Would you like to contribute to his retirement or whatever? And it was like, what is all of this for one character that nobody even knows or gives a shit about? And it was like,
It's
what?
like when Ross moved into his apartment in France.
It was like, who are you? I kind of want to know more about you now that the game's paying so much attention to you.
But yeah, like I said, the gameplay is pretty solid. I favoured the sword over the bow. Like I hardly used bow. If unless I had to, I was mainly just killing shit with swords or clubs and shit.
I would use the bow if only I found someone that was too dangerous to get close to. Because some people are just like, I don't even know how to fucking deal with you. I don't know how to deal with you. Kill me every time. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna be a mile away and just shoot you with arrows until you die because I can hold like 500 of them. So eventually, at some point, you're gonna die.
Yeah, there is some enemies who are like, wait, what? Like when you're walking around the top and suddenly the ground comes alive and it's like what looks like a Skylander tree. And you're like, what are you? And it just runs at you. So I ran through the enemy base and hoped it'd kill them, but no, he only has eyes for me apparently.
He only has eyes for you. Aww.
Yeah, he was obsessed. He was just chasing me. I was like, couldn't you monster up, monster the shit out of the other guys?
Monster the shit out of him.
He's like, nope. And I'm a one-man monster. I was like, oh, okay.
I did like. Oh, here's another interesting question. Should bring up. How did you like the voice acting?
It was okay.
I didn't like Zelda's voice, but I think everybody else's was okay. Well, that's it.
Yeah, like I said, it was okay. I didn't. When it came to the voice acting, I was like, it's okay, but it wasn't anything to write home about. But it's not terrible either.
Okay, I just didn't
It's not
like
like
her
it's not
voice.
sort of there.
I just didn't like Zelda's voice because I'm like, why is she British all of a sudden? I mean, not there's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong. But I'm just like, you just chose like someone, like I guess. Like, okay. Like, how did you choose it? Like, you know.
I'm guessing they went with the British accent because in a lot of fantasies and sci-fi that screams royal.
And Royal screams British, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, like in a lot of fantasies and stuff, all the royal people have to suddenly have British accents. Like, even if you watch Star Wars, a lot of like Queen Amidala and stuff, they all start putting on fake English accents when they're doing official speech.
Does that piss you off or like?
No,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, okay, I can accept this. It sounds regal.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I just felt weird. But everybody else's voice seemed fine. I liked the voice of the Gerudo chick. I loved the voice of my favorite. And I seen uh shit. What's his name now? The Prince, Zora Prince. He's pretty much like a good version of Gaston. I saw the video of him with him singing the Gaston song because he's always like I just like that. It's like adorable. He's like so cute, like for a fish.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's adorable. I liked him and his actor and stuff like that. And then even though like when I first went to the Zora's domain, I swear it was like I was getting all these visions of like Knuckles because that's what they all look like to me with their like hair and things. I'm like, what is Knuckles doing in Legend of Zelda? You're in the wrong game, buddy.
Maybe it's locked on with the cartridge.
Maybe. All right, so now I can totally go into story. What'd you think of the story?
Eh, a lot of the story bored me to the point I've not played it for a while. I've been turning that off and going on like other games. It didn't grip me the way a lot of Legend of Zelda ones do. This one was just sort of there.
I will also have to agree with you. As soon as I got to the second, because that's how far I got to the second, no, third, uh, Divine Beast, which is the camel person, and I could go back and play. I probably will when I have to go on a long car ride or something, but until then, I probably won't. Just because, like, I feel like a lot of the stuff you do, it's not like I don't know. It was super laid out in the very beginning, so I knew exactly where everything was gonna go. Where in the first Legend of Zelda, it told you like your immediate goals, but you never knew your long-term goals. You had to like figure those out. I mean, maybe halfway it told you like, and just thinking of Ocarina of Time, where you did your first three, but then you didn't know what was gonna happen. You didn't know how to get another 8 or whatever. So
Yeah, like I said, the problem with this was, for me, it was as I'd feared going into it. It was the open world shit. The other ones, while some of them were a kind of open world, you still had a point where it was like, go here, go there. This one's like, go to any of these 5 locations scattered around the map, and you're like, oh, come on.
And it's true because most of them are about the same difficulty. Because like the first one, I found like much harder, and the second boss, it was like he was just friggin' a wet blanket. He was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna stand still while you use friggin' bomb arrows that I'm going to provide for you to kill me." No, I'm just gonna stand still. Like it was like, "What
Yeah,
is this?" Like,
they should have gone a little bit more linear, like some of the older ones. While they weren't linear in a traditional sense, they weren't as open world as this.
mm-hmm.
Because as I've mentioned, I feel a lot too many games nowadays are going, oh, let's look, it's open world. Like that suddenly makes it interesting.
I
The
feel like
regular world is open world, but there's a reason we all stay behind playing video games.
That's amazing, though. With this one, I just feel like this is kind of like a test to see like how this would work if they wanted to incorporate parts of this into the next Legend of Zelda, whatever that is. So that's kind of what it felt to me. Like some functions work, some things people like, some things people didn't, things like that. So that's what it felt like to me. It felt like this was a really big, expensive test.
Well, a little bit. But to be fair, this game was in development for how many years?
Very long time.
And then they pushed it back to bring it out on Switch.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Sometimes things can be stuck in like development hell and it changes it, or
I mean, it's still not a terrible game. It's better than a lot of games
it's not.
out there,
Yeah.
but it's just
It's not
not
amazing.
as fun. It's not
I
as
wanted it
fun
to
as
be
Zelda
amazing.
normally is.
Yeah.
I want it to be
So
legendary.
what?
Huh, I see why I did
All right. So do you want to give your final thoughts?
that. Yeah, my final thought and rating for my system is I'm gonna go in the middle and say rent it. Some people may love it, some people may hate it, but for me personally, it's just sort of in the middle. But it doesn't feel like Legend of Zelda. A lot of the looks doesn't look like Legend of Zelda, and yeah, I kind of wish it'd gone back to Wind Waker or Ocarina of Time. And by Wind Waker, I mean the good Wind Waker, not the Wii U remake.
Yeah.
But
All right. My final thoughts are, like I said, I feel like it's a test, but I don't know. There's a whole lot of work you have to do, like so much goddamn filler. Oh my god. But it's really fun if you are like a diehard Legend of Zelda fan. You might like it just because you like anything that's a Legend of Zelda, so that's your thing. Like I love Legend of Zelda. This did not feel like a Legend of Zelda game. Just putting that out there. It just doesn't feel like it. It feels like a side story or something, or I don't know. It doesn't feel like Legend of Zelda.
nope. Well, I do have the season pass, so maybe DLC will add Zelda back to it.
Yeah, she wasn't super involved with them being like a GPS to remind me
I
there's a
mean,
plot. And
maybe I'll add what makes Legend of Zelda back to the series, but I
oh, I
doubt it.
thought you meant like specifically Zelda.
No, I don't care about that bitch ever since she pushed me off a cliff.
She's dead to me now.
She pushed me off a cliff twice. Twice.
She's dead to me. Okay, well, like I said, I guess if I had to give this a rating, I'd give it like a 7. So it's
Out of
fair.
100.
No, not out of 100. Like it'd be a 70 out of 100, a 7 out of 10. Like, it's fairly good if you're like diehard. Pick it up if you want to wait a bit and maybe if you can get it up on sale and check it out. Well, that's my thoughts on Legend of Zelda. Let's see you in the next video.
Yep. Next time coming up, we have Mass Effect Andromeda. We'll be reviewing that. We're going to be reviewing the Mega Drive Classic Games console, some classic Mega Drive games, some more retro stuff's coming. Big stuff's planned here.
Woo!
Oh, and Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 and 2.8 will eventually come to this channel as a review. So, yay.